Today on the podcast, a quick one to share a conversation with our own senior editor, Matt Cole, the end of his day one Thursday, September 25th, out of the massive undertaking that is the Guilty by Association Truck Show in Joplin, Missouri. Weather in the area in prior days made for a busy Thursday for the hundreds of truck owners hard at work prepping the rigs for show.
The weather out here was real bad the last couple of days, and everybody was working on getting their trucks sniffied up, so only got a few videos done today, but lots of promise for tomorrow.
Cole comes back from a show like the massive GBATS with a dozen or more video features documenting owner-operators and the work put into their equipment and businesses. Sure, but as we'll hear on the podcast today, there's a whole lot more to it. I'm Todd Dills, and after a quick break, we'll dive into my conversation held late Thursday, September 25th, after Cole's first day canvassing the event. The Guilty by Association Truck Show continues through Saturday, the 27th in Joplin on the site of Fourth State Trucks, with truck stops and other businesses nearby also participating, if perhaps you catch this edition before it's all said and done. So, here we go. Ask any driver. Winter diesel problems don't happen all at once. That's why Howe's Products offers total performance and protection. Diesel Defender cleans and prepares your system so you start off the season strong. Before cold hits, dose up with Diesel Treat to keep fuel flowing all winter long by preventing gelling in even the harshest temps. If you do ever get stuck, Howe's Diesel Lifeline is your rescue, reliquefying gelled fuel fast. With Howe's, you don't just face winter, you beat it. Visit HOWES, HowesProducts.com for more. Here's our conversation getting started, with a reference to all the work that owners put in to get their rigs prepped for show.
That kind of thing, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Lots of polishing, lots of scrubbing, all that good stuff.
What's the mood feel like otherwise? I mean, I know it's a huge show, and I know there's a ton of. I mean, the show officially starts today, right?
I mean, yes and no. There are some events going on around it, but I think the actual official start to the show is really tomorrow.
Friday and Saturday are the main days.
Yeah, Friday and Saturday are the main days.
Today's kind of like a hybrid, like start / setup, which, I mean, this setup for a 500 plus truck show spread out over the entirety of a highway exit. It's pretty big deal. Right. Pretty big deal. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's already. I mean, I don't have an exact count, of course, but several hundred trucks, and they're continuing to roll in. I mean, they've been rolling in all day. I would walk one side and talk to some drivers, and then walk across the highway to the other side. And by the time I got back to the other side, that previous lot was all the way full, whereas there were only, a handful of trucks in there to begin with. So, that was the case in any of the 4 or 5 different parking lots they've got all day long today. So, and registration's open through noon local time Friday, so that'll continue in the morning as well. But yeah, the mood's great. Everybody's excited to be here. This show is not a judged truck show, so there's not everybody wants their truck to look good, of course, but, there's not the pressure of having somebody go over your truck with a fine-tooth comb. And, this show is more about the community. It's getting together with, your fellow truck drivers and having a good time for a couple of days. It's a lot more laid back than some of the judged shows that we go to, for sure.
Last time I was there, I think maybe they probably still do this. I don't know if they still do, but there are a couple of, if I'm remembering right, when I was there last, and it's been a long time, I think you've been to the last few. They've been doing it every 2 years since I was last there, I think, which was in 2018 maybe. But do they still do I think they had a participant's choice winner combo and bobtail, if my memory is right. They would present that. It's basically all the people that participated in the show with their trucks picked their favorite amongst their peers, and then that was a little bit of an award presented during the during the little meeting they had for the drivers participating in the convoy, which happens at the end of the show on Saturday. Are they still doing that? Do you know?
I believe so. I haven't seen anything official about it, but I did see some guys filling out some what looked to be ballot-like cards. So I assume that's what that was for.
That's a nice touch, It's just kind of like it's not like they're going around and and checking the vents and checking the dust in the vents and all the all the streaks and what have you. But yeah. It's just kind of recognition by your fellow drivers and owner operators.
And we know something about that here at Overdrive as well, don't we?
That's right. Get on over to overdriveonline.com/pride-polish, where you can enter your truck with a few pictures and some information about it. It's our virtual truck show, as it were. And Overdrive's Pride and Polish puts those entries up for a vote to Overdrive readers. So, as Matt Cole intimated there, it's your owner-operator peers who ultimately determine the winners in 5 different categories. Entries are open through the 1st of October, coming up fast next week, Wednesday. So, for those of you out at GBATS, take a few pictures of the rig shined up there at the show and enter it in our competition early next week, once the festivities are over there at 4 State Trucks in Joplin. Again, that's overdriveonline.com/pride-polish.
There's other things going on around the show. I believe Friday morning, and by the time folks are hearing this, we may have some. This may have already happened, but I know there's a town hall that FMCSA is conducting with attendees there, and I believe the Owner Operator Independent Drivers Association is involved in kind of sponsoring that or helping facilitate that in some way. What do we know about that, and what do we expect out of it? I know there's a DOT has a big announcement slated for the morning of Friday, September the 26th. That same morning, earlier than this town hall, around the non-domiciled CDL issuance audit that they've been doing. That's what we're presuming anyway. They call it a major announcement. I don't know what it's going to be, but we'll have some news on that early in the morning. But what do we know about this town hall with the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration? And I expect you'll be there in attendance to report anything notable that happens there.
Yeah, I'll definitely be there. Look out for reporting on that probably early next week. But from what I understand at this point, it's supposed to be a Q&A with FMCSA. I haven't heard who specifically from the agency is supposed to be here, but it is in coordination with OIDA. Okay. And sounds like they're going to be taking some questions from the audience, and just based on everything that we've been reporting on here the last month or few, I expect some questions around English language proficiency and like you mentioned, non-domiciled CDLs, whether or not there's big news from DOT earlier in the morning, and maybe some hoping for some questions related to hours of service with those new pilot programs that were announced recently, and
that we talked about last week, early this.
If you missed my conversation with Cole delving into the details of 2 hours of service flexibility pilot programs the FMCSA has proposed, track back to the previous episode of Overdrive Radio in your podcast feed. That'll be for September 22, 2025, or find it at overdriveonline.com/overdrive-radio. The potential non-domiciled CDL news we mentioned there with the planned DOT press conference is unfolding as I speak these words. So check for reporting at overdriveonline.com from our own Alex Lockey today for certain.
See what comes out of that town hall. What else though happens at GBATS that folks may not be aware of in terms of just sort of the events around the show? I know there's used to be truck pulls and what have you, and
Thursday night, of course, that'll be passed by the time you hear this, but there's a demolition derby Thursday evening and a concert throughout the day. Friday, they've got big rig burnouts, which those are really cool to see. They're doing some trucker Olympics during the afternoon on Friday, some games for CDL holders to do there. more burnouts later in the evening. There's the tractor pull tomorrow night or Friday night. They're doing a motocross stunt show. So yeah, there's all kinds of things. Another concert tomorrow evening with a ZZ Top tribute band.
Okay,
So
cool.
there's plenty for for drivers and their families to take in while they're here.
It's just a great crowd there. People come from a lot of people that are kind of in that local area come out to show their trucks,
Yes.
but a lot of people from the area come out to see the trucks, obviously. But I know Saturday night is that they have a big convoy downtown, and the rest of that night's events all happen down there on the main street in Joplin. Kind of a big deal, and just a big show at the very end of this thing before folks just take off and head back to where they come from, and a lot of the folks at this showing come from all over the country too. It's become quite a big national event. Where I know you talked to several truck owners today, and where were the folks that you talked to coming in from?
One of them was local to Joplin. He's regular Overdrive readers from way back would probably remember David Foster. Yeah, he's got a 2005 Kenworth W900 that's got encroaching on 2 million miles on that unit. So.
Check out the show notes for a link to coverage of owner-operator Foster's truck as part of our Reader Rig series, as the truck was back in 2017, pictured with a rainbow in the distance. Super cool photo from Foster back then.
Yeah, he's from here in Joplin, but also talked to a couple of guys from Iowa, talked to a guy from Ohio. So yeah, folks are coming from all over.
What's the coolest thing you've seen thus far in terms of equipment? That's
a tough one. There's a lot of really nice trucks out here. Probably, we saw it earlier this year at Mid-America, but Brian Martin's 359 that just got finished pretty recently.
Yeah, you worked on it with Davis Brothers, right?
Yes, I believe. Yeah, that was the Davis Brothers build. Yeah, but yeah. I mean, that truck's it's incredible. There's plenty of non-show trucks, trucks that are definitely daily workers, and but obviously the guys take really good care of them, and they're all looking great out on the lots as well.
What's the thing you most look forward to, Matt, when it comes to covering a truck show like this? What we do this, obviously this is our career, but we wouldn't continue to do it if it wasn't if we weren't getting something else out of it, I feel like. And I think in your case that's probably really true. What do you most look forward to when you have the opportunity to cover a big show like this?
I mean, it's meeting the drivers face to face. It's one thing to talk to them on the phone, which we do quite often, of course, just throughout the regular course of our jobs. But it's a totally different thing to actually meet the people face to face and really be able to get to know them a little bit. I've been coming to these truck shows for 10 years now that I've been with Overdrive, and seeing the same faces through the years, reconnecting with people that you've gotten to know. It's a really great, it's a really great environment, and to see the hard work that they put into their equipment, and when you talk to them, hear about what they do day to day, it's just it's something I really appreciate.
That certainly resonates with me when I think about truck shows, but it also resonates with me in a different way because just before we talked, I got a call from one of our small fleet champ semifinalists that we've all been running stories this month in preparation for winnowing it down to our final four finalists that will probably get announced late next week. Once we fully make that decision, and if for anybody listening, get over to the site. You can find those stories pretty simply. But I got to meet one of those guys today.
Oh, that's great.
It wasn't a truck show situation, but he's an owner who still gets out on the road and drives still small fleet. And happened to be headed right down 65, coming through my neck of the woods here in north and slightly east Nashville, and stopped at the Loves on Trinity Lane, and timed it about perfect. He called me with about 15 minutes before he got there. He he hadn't been planning on it, but he remembered me saying that that truck stop was one that was fairly close to where I lived, and he timed it perfect. He said, "Hey Todd, my GPS claims that I can get to that truck stop in about 15 minutes." It's like, I think I can get to that truck stop in about 15 minutes. And I pulled up and got out of the car with my camera and turned around, and here he was coming up the road, getting ready to pull in. It was about perfect. But it's always good to meet somebody in person that you've spent a good bit of time talking to and from afar. And when we met, we just basically talked about difficulties for the owner operator. He's got the Southwest stuck out in California, trying to find that gentleman a decent paying load out of that market. That can be a tough one for folks time to time, particularly right now. He said, just talking with the brokers that he has good relationships with. And anyway, it's just you meet somebody, you connect on some of the things you've talked about before. In his case, business difficulties, challenges overcome, and the like. But when you're out at a truck show, it's a little bit more fun. But I'm sure that I know that in your just kind of going from truck to truck, from owner to owner, looking at the equipment, I know a lot of business discussions come up. Have you heard anything from anybody there? What's the mood on the trucking? Just kind of the general business conditions out there for folks. Any good news that you've heard from anybody there?
Honestly, just more of the same that we've been hearing for the last couple of years. Everything, parts and everything like that are expensive. It's hard to find parking. Rates are what the rates have been. Nothing major is changing from what I've been hearing.
Yeah, no big plus side things, no big further falls necessarily, but costs are still up and rates are what they are, and it's a tough world. Sounds like people are making it work though. For that seems, when you go to a truck show like this and you meet a lot of these people you have like a parking lot full of evidence of that, right?
Somebody from the outside looking in would be like, man, they're doing really well. And, you talk to these guys and, the truck looks great today, but it just came off the road and, he just spent the last 3 days, wiping it down, getting it washed, polishing it, all this kind of stuff. And, this show and others that we go to is almost, they're kind of almost vacations, a couple of days off the road to kick back before getting back to it.
You can find a link to early coverage from GBATS via the show notes for this Overdrive Radio edition. And here's a big thanks to Matt Cole for talking through his first day there. As noted up top, GBATS is ongoing through Saturday. If you're making your way through Joplin, Missouri, stop in and have a walk around the grounds. I know you won't regret it. Overdrive Radio is a production of Overdrive, the voice of the American trucker. It's edited and produced by me, Todd Dills, with the acoustic guitar and other support of trucker songwriter Long Haul Paul Marhofer. The theme is Legend of the Snake Man by Marhofer, featuring the guitar work of Travis, the Snake Man himself, Whammick, Terry Two Socks Richardson on bass, keys by Tishomingo Jim Whitehead, and on drums, Andrew Marshall. The podcast is backed up further by Overdrive's own social media coordinator Jasmine Campbell, senior editor Matt Cole, executive editor Alex Lockie, and video editors Lawson Rudisil and Andrew Gwynn. We'll see you next time.